Hi friends, welcome to Art Party with Faith Green, Episode 10, Love People Like Things. Love people like things. Let's talk about that for a second. So, who are people? Well, to me, I see people as people. Whatever color they are, whatever shade they are, of the same color, really. We're all people. People are people. And if everybody would just love people and like things, I think this world would be a much better place. So I looked up the word people in the dictionary, and it says human beings in general or considered collectively. And the next definition says the men, women, and children of a particular nation, community, or ethnic group. That's technically what people are. So, of course, next I had to look up things. What are things? And in my head, I was thinking things are pretty much the opposite of people. Then I looked up the dictionary definition and I was shocked. I was correct. It says things are an inanimate material object as distinct from a living sentient being. So, of course, I looked up inanimate. What does inanimate mean? Inanimate means showing no signs of life or lifeless. So it's not alive. It's especially not in the manner of animals and humans. It's exactly the opposite of people. Things are the opposite of people. So again, things are an inanimate material object as distinct from a living sentient being. So inanimate means it has no life. It's a material object and it's distinct from a living sentient being. So what does sentient mean? Well, sentient means able to perceive or feel things. So people feel things, and things are the opposite of people. And in other words, people feel. Things don't feel. Things are not as important as people. And you want to know, in my experience, what I've noticed, the thing that people like most above all people and above all other things is money. And money, what is money? Money is just something that we've all decided has value. Collectively, everybody agrees that we can use money as a way to equate value to things. And value has value only if its value is valued, which means we can put things above people if we're not careful. And some of those things include money, and money is something that people may not really like the money as much as they like the power that that money brings. Have you ever wished that you could go back in time and rewrite history? I have. Thinking about America and the way that it was founded, I really wish I could go back in time and I could rewrite history. And in my opinion, when the settlers came and discovered America, they saw this land of promise and opportunity, and they were elated to start a new, fresh system away from dictatorship, and have a place where we could all agree on basic human rights and live our lives and have the American dream. And that's all well and great, but the way that we conquered the natives that were living here is completely not cool, in my opinion. The Native Americans lived here and lived in harmony and peace with each other and with nature, and they showed us their ways. They said, yeah, we could teach you how to plant things and how to make it grow and how to harvest and, how to do all these things. They were nice to us. They were really sweet and friendly, and they did what was right. And how did we repay that? We didn't say, oh, yay, let's have some great neighbors and let's have a cool time, That's what I would have done. I would have just been super happy to live in harmony with the Native Americans and with nature. I think that it would have been spectacular if we could have figured that much out, to treat people better than the things that we were striving for. If we loved people and we loved the Native Americans, what a different way to start this nation. I mean, right there, I think we went so wrong in basically demolishing their whole race and taking what we wanted for our own personal gain. It's not right. It's not cool. But it's happened already. It's too late. There's no going back. We can't rewrite history. So what can we do? Right now, I'm looking around and I see in society we're way off track again. Once again, we are way off track. How do we get back on track? I mean, people, they get off track all the time. Everybody makes mistakes. But that's when we need to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. So let's talk about what happened after the Native Americans. So in a nutshell, we pretty much wiped them out, all the Native Americans, and the ones that we didn't wipe out, we used as slaves, and we treated them very poorly, extremely poorly. And then we realized, wow, there's not enough people to do all of our manual labor. So we need to bring in some workers that we can make them work for us for free, basically slaves. So we brought in people from Africa, which basically were kidnapping them and taking them over here to do all of our dirty work without even having to pay them anything, because we thought for some reason that things were more important than people, and that we could, build up this great nation and, make it something big and great on principles that were just completely wrong, because people were more important than things. And the way that we treated those people is not okay. And so eventually everybody had that decision, the agreement to abolish slavery. It was a great idea, and they put that into motion with a little bit of fine print. Let's talk about that fine print. So when we said that it's wrong to have slaves and that everybody should be treated equally, we made it illegal to make people work for us without having to pay them. However, we thought for some reason that, well, what are we going to do with all of the fields? Who's going to work in them then? Who's going to do all of our dirty work for free? And being afraid of an economic collapse, they decided to add a little bit of fine print into this new law or an amendment, and the 13th Amendment specifically in the Constitution. So they put a little bit of fine print in there saying that it's wrong to have slaves unless they were criminals. So if we could put them in jail, then we can make them do all of our dirty work for free because they're criminals and they don't deserve to be paid for their work because they've broken the law. So this brief clause in the 13th Amendment allowed the South to rebuild its economy through prison labor. But do you think it was a bunch of white people that went to jail? No, it was African Americans. They were arrested in large numbers and often for minor crimes. And sadly enough, this is still the case. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to injustices that Black people face on a daily basis that's wrong, that they shouldn't have to face. I think as a nation, we need to get our priorities straight, and we need to realize that we should love people and like things. It's actually that simple. We need to put people's lives above things and treat everybody the way that we would like to be treated. So the way that we treat other people is a behavior, right? Well, what if in all of human behavior, what if it's either an act of love or a call for love? Which means people can either love or they don't have enough love to give. That's the bottom line. And what's going to fix this? What's going to solve the problem that we face on a daily basis in our personal lives as well as in our nation is, bottom line, love. If people are not acting out of love, that means they need love. So let's get creative. Let's love everyone, especially when they're being unlovable. Love is patient, Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. So don't give up hope, friends. Keep the faith. Let us remember to love people and like things. Speaking of things to like, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share this message with your friends.